My parents drained my $60K wedding fund for my sister's dream house, then told me to be proud. 4 days later, their bank account was frozen, and my dad called me yelling. "But don't you dare raise your voice at me, Liam," my father thundered, slamming his fist on the kitchen table. The sound rattled the half-empty glass of bourbon beside him. "I'm not raising my voice," I muttered, jaw tight. "I'm asking where my money went." Mom's eyes darted between us, red-rimmed from tears. My sister Leora leaned back in her chair with that smug tilt of her chin. Dad's voice was like gravel. "We used it for something more important than a wedding. Be proud your sister has a home." The air cracked. I froze, words stuck in my throat until Leora leaned in, lips curling. "Maybe if you weren't such a screw-up, you wouldn't need us to manage your life." That's when Dad turned to me and hissed, "You better not tell anyone what you're planning, Liam." My name's Liam Darren, 26 years old, the quiet son. The one who learned to swallow his words, even when they burned holes in my chest. I've been invisible most of my life, except when someone needed a scapegoat. They'd say, "Liam will understand. Liam doesn't mind." But I minded. I minded more than they'll ever know. And what they don't realize is, I've been keeping a truth, one that could split this family in two. Family members introduced. Father, Grant, 52. Booming voice, quick temper, always right in his own eyes. Mother, Elaine, 49. Fragile, tears easily, guilt written on her face. Sister, Leora, 28. Sharp tongue, entitled, treated like royalty since birth. Dad barked commands. Mom whispered apologies. Leora cut through conversations like a knife. Me? I watched. Every smirk, every slip of the tongue, every shift of their eyes. And when Dad said, "Liam, you'll ruin everything if you keep running your mouth," I knew there was more beneath his anger. I shoved the bank statement across the table like it's a slap. 60,000. That was mine. Mom's hand trembles. "Liam!" Leora laughs, that cold, high laugh. "You always did budget like it was a math test. Wedding money, please." Dad's face goes stone. He pounds the table again. The bourbon glass jumps. "Enough." A silence falls, thick and ugly. I see it now. Their little theater. Leora sits like a queen. Mom wipes her cheeks like she's practicing sorrow. Dad wears anger like armor. "Tell me whose name is on the mortgage," I say low. The words are small, but they push like knives. Leora rolls her eyes. "Why? So you can make a scene on camera, Liam?" "Maybe I will." My voice shakes, but I keep it steady. "Maybe I'll tell everyone how you turned my life into a piggy bank." Mom flinches. She always did when truth hit. But she doesn't stop Leora. She looks at Dad like a child waiting for direction. I see the first real crack in their practiced calm. Leora stands, heels clicking. "You'll regret this." She moves like she expects me to run. I don't. For once, I don't run from noise and threats and the long, sneering silence they prefer. Shouting becomes the soundtrack of the kitchen. "You're betraying the family!" Dad hisses, voice high with fury. "You'll make us look like thieves." "Thieves?" I snort. "You used my money, Dad. That's theft." Leora points at me like I'm a bug she wants crushed. "You always make everything dramatic. It's embarrassing." Mom sobs, the kind that wants someone to hold it for them. "We did what was right for Leora. She's our child." That's the problem. My hands clench. "You always put her first. I've been second my whole life. Always quiet, always understanding. I saved that money for my wedding and for a future I built with my sweat." Leora's face twists. A flash of something. Guilt? No, annoyance. "You saved for a party. We saved for responsibility." The word stabs me. Responsibility. As if being responsible means letting them spend and lie while I get nothing but a shrug. Dad smacks his palm to his forehead. "You don't see the bigger picture, Liam." "No, you don't see reality," I say. "You see the image you want people to have." It's humiliation, felt sharp. Their whispers to neighbors, the tiny smirks at family gatherings, my voice always tucked away so they remain the good family. Tonight, I want them to feel a little of that shame. I'm back at 18. The garage smells of oil. I'm counting coins on the workbench like they're a fragile promise. I remember Dad's hand on my shoulder that night. He looked at me like he was proud and tired. "Leora needs tuition," he said. "We'll get you next time." Next time never came. I delivered pizzas, fixed phones, worked 2 jobs. I watched Leora leave for college in a car I could barely afford to look at. She waved from the driver's seat like she'd always been in first class. I patched holes in my pride the way I patched roofs. Quick and crude. That's how I learned. They take, I give, then they call it love. Now, in the present, I see the pattern. Small thiefies of promises. Big robberies of dreams. My chest tight with the memory. I realize I've been paying their life with my silence since I was a boy. "Whose name is on that mortgage?" I ask again, softer this time. Dad's eyes dart. Leora's fingers go white on the table. "It's in Dad's name," I say, leaning forward. I know because I found the papers. Overdue notices, unmarked envelopes. He's been shuffling debt like cards. Leora laughs at first, a brittle defensive sound. "So? He can do what he wants." "No." I swallow. "He used my wedding fund to cover his loans. He moved the mortgage to his name to hide it from the bank. That house? It's a smokescreen." The room explodes. Leora slaps the table hard. "You're lying!" "No," I say. "I saw the bank transaction. I saw him sign. I saw the late notices. You think you were given a house because you deserved it? You were handed a story." Mom's face collapses. For the first time, she doesn't have a line ready. Her mouth opens and closes like she's trying to catch air. Dad's face goes white, then red, then pale. He's been found out, not just for the money, but for the lies that held them together. Then the worst. Leora's voice cracks. "You waited this long?" she says, not at me, but at him. "You used his wedding fund. You stole from him." Dad doesn't answer. He looks like a man who's lost his map. Leora sobs, not like the queen crying, but like a child who realized the candy was poison. "You ruined everything," Dad screams at me, but it's thin. The anger is shock trying to sound loud. "You made me a laughingstock," Leora says, and her words are meant for the neighbors. "You made us appear weak." Mom turns to me, tears hot and sudden. "Why would you do this? Why do you always destroy what we try to build?" Her voice is not warmth, it's accusation, as if my wanting justice is an act of betrayal. "Because I'm not your ATM," I say. "Because I am tired of being small and silent for your convenience." They look at me like I've grown a second head. Their pity has dried up. Their loyalty to the version of themselves, the rich, respectable family, is stronger than the love they owe me. Leora stands and walks out, shoulders shaking. She doesn't look back. I realize she's embarrassed not because she stole, but because the truth looks bad in public. I feel humiliation turning into anger. I want them to know what it's like to be dismissed at the table, to be the flavorless son whose pain is background music. I grab my jacket, keys jangling. This is more than a door leaving. It's stepping outside a life that was rented to me without my consent. Dad calls after me, voice rough. "You'll regret this." I stop, thumb on the doorknob. I want to shout back, to tell him regret is something he'll get to know when Lenda calls and Leora's title vanishes. But I don't. I walk out. The night air hits me like a truth I can finally breathe. My chest loosens a hair. For the first time, I act for me, not their comfort. Down the block, Leora's car is still in the driveway. She watches from the window, face pale. For a second, I imagine she wants me to come back and fix it, to take blame like a bandage. But I am tired of playing that role. I don't look back. I catch a bus. I sit with the city noises and let them drown the kitchen's old arguments. I'm small and broke and free in a way I never allowed myself to be before. Weeks pass. Rumors drift through my phone. Dad's account's frozen, creditors calling, neighbors gossiping. Leora posts a picture of herself with forced smiles, trying to stitch normalcy. One evening, Dad calls. He's shaking like a kid who's been caught with his hand in the cookie jar. "Liam, please, we can fix this. Come home." I listen to him beg. For years, I swallowed their shame and called it love. This time, I don't run back. Instead, I send a list. Small, precise things I want. The repayment plan. Names on the mortgage cleared. An apology in front of the people they hurt. If they want me back, they must pay what they owe. Money and truth. Leora sells the car. Mom starts a job at the bakery down the street. She comes home smelling of sugar and shame and a little pride. She apologizes once, quietly, when she thinks I can hear. It isn't enough, but it's a start. I rent a small apartment. The couch is second-hand. The curtains are cheap, but when I sit on that couch at night, I no longer hear the echo of "Liam will understand." I hear my own thoughts. I meet someone at work, someone who listens, who doesn't make me small. She doesn't fix me. She sits with me while I fix myself. One cold night, Dad calls again. This time his voice is softer. "Can we?" he says. "No," I answer. "Not yet." There's silence. For a moment, I almost regret being hard. But then I remember the nights I counted coins, the nights I swallowed insults, and I breathe out. I whisper to my empty apartment, "I will be okay." It's not triumphant. It's not a Hollywood ending. It's messy. It's real. And it's mine. If you were in my place, would you forgive them or walk away forever? Tell me in the comments. Your voice matters here. Don't forget to subscribe for more real stories like this. If you connected with Liam's pain and strength, like this video. And share your own story, because here we listen.